Where I draw the line is really important, because if I draw it at a very particular spot, almost everybody will cross it. So we're going to protect that line with our ego and our anger and our emotions and our fight. Because you go into fight or flight when someone crosses your boundary. The moment the boundary is crossed, it goes, do I run or do I fight? So if I draw that line in the sand and that kid crosses that line and I step in with my fight or flight mode, but I drew the line so early at such an unreasonable spot, I'm constantly going to be having the emotions of frustration and the feelings of fight or flight. So be mindful of where you draw the line. Like, for example, easy one. If you've ever had roommates that don't do their dishes, okay? Are you going to say something or be frustrated when you see the first dish? The second dish? A pile of dishes? Is it going to be if they do it every day? Only once? Every week? So knowing where that line is really important. And it's going to dictate the fluctuations of emotions that you have. So if somebody, for the first time ever, they don't know how I operate, they come into my space and they come into my home and they leave their dish there. It's up to me to share with them my boundaries and how I work. Oh, you know, in my house, we do our own dishes. Do you mind doing your dish? Okay, great. Or I could not say anything. And it's just one dish. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Fast forward, we become really good friends. And they do it again the next time they come over. And I don't say anything because I didn't say anything the first time. It's okay. It's only one. I'll do it later. Like, it's not a big deal. Okay, fine. Fast forward, now they're roommates. And now it's every dish. You see? So when and where and how you draw the line is really important. If you're going to draw it at the first dish, then they know right away that that's the rule, and they can build a habit around that. Dogs are actually a really interesting way of learning boundaries. Like, if you get a dog and you draw the line right away, you cannot cross this line, they will walk over to the line, but they won't cross it, and they won't understand why. And then that one day they cross it, and you meet it with force, or you meet it with energy, or you create that boundary, they'll go back and they'll never cross that line again. Humans are the same. If you do the boundary right away, they build a habit right there. So if right away I say, hey, look, you know, do you mind doing your own dish? That's the way that we do it here. Okay, right away. The first time they eat there, they get the dish, they do their dish, they've built a habit around it. Now the next time, they'll do it again and again and again and again, and you don't have to reset the boundary. Every once in a while, you might have to remind them, and that's okay. But it's up to you to determine at what point are you going to say something, and at what point are you going to express how you operate or how the space operates or what your rules are, where your boundaries are. Because if you're not expressing them, it's going to build over time. And have you ever had a situation where someone's crossing your boundary all the time, and it drives you nuts, and you build an emotion, and then the next time they do it, you build more of an emotion, the next time you build more of an emotion, the next time you build more, to the point where you want to fight them, and then you tell them, hey, like, you're doing this thing and it's bothering me, and they're like, why didn't you tell me like 6 months ago? I literally, like, I had no idea that I was doing that to you. I was completely unconscious about that. If I knew how important that was to you, if I knew that that was how you felt, I would have stopped. Like, we could have had a conversation about that. So it goes both ways. Like, if you don't express it, they're going to continue to unconsciously break your boundary to the point where your emotion builds so much where it can turn into a fight that ruins the relationship. So knowing, like, when to express is really important, but also giving that person a time and space and compassion to understand that you have a boundary. If you don't tell them that there's a boundary and they don't know about it and they just keep crossing it, they're going to continue. And they're going to think that they have a good relationship with you and that everything's good. But meanwhile, late at night you're angry and frustrated and you know, talking negative about them in your head because they did that thing that bothered you, but they didn't even know that they were doing it.